Hello, good afternoon to all dear students. In this lecture, we will discuss about life cycle of Nostoc. First of all, introduction of Nostoc. Nostoc is a blue-green algae and it is also called cyanobacteria because they are included in Cyanophyta division. They are prokaryotics and perform photosynthesis. They are found mainly freshwater as a free living colonies attached to the rock at the bottom of lake, and they are also found on tree trunk, and they are also found in algal component of lichen in certain bryophytes. They are capable of nitrogen fixing and perform photosynthesis, and they are also present as endosymbiont to fungus. Nostoc is the blue-green algae. They are perform photosynthesis and they are prokaryotics. They are found in a freshwater. They are attached to some rocks and some anthoceros. Anthoceros is a one type of bryophyte, and they are also capable to nitrogen fixing perform during the photosynthesis, and they are also found in endosymbionts with a fungus. Okay, it is an introduction and their classifications. Their division is Cyanophyta. They are included in Cyanophyceae class. The order is Nostocales family, Nostocaceae, and genus is a Nostoc. In classification, division, class, order, family, and genus. In some division, class, order, family, and genus, you must remember one classification because of the division is Cyanophyta. Why it is included in Cyanophyta? Because in a non-stock chromatophore not organized pigment diffuse, they contain a blue and red pigment. Food reserve cyanohyacinth starch and true nucleus is absent. Their character is present, so they are included in a Cyanophyta division. And their class Cyanophyceae. The members of this division are placed in a single class Cyanophyceae. Then order non-stocal, their characters, their thallus with a trichome, unbranched or branching falls, hormones, heterocytes, exospore, and oospore generally present. And then family Nostocaceae, trichome single, unbranched, unicariate, and approximately of the same diameters throughout. Heterocytes and echinates present. Trichome not differentiated. General genus is the Nostoc. Trichomes must twisted into the mass of definite from with colonial envelope, and heterocytes intercalary and single. Okay, it is classifications and their occurrence. Nostoc is the found in a freshwater as well as terrestrial habitat. Freshwater species of the non-stock microscopic colony on surface of water which vary from few mm to 8 cm or more in a diameter. The terrestrial species grow as a gelatinous patches on moist soil rock. They are often swell up and glisten after rain. Therefore, they are also known as fallen star. In India, Nostoc is represented about 26 species, which is Nostoc calcicola and Nostoc endophyllum. Okay, the Nostoc is the freshwater algae, and they are also macroscopic and a few mm's to 8 centimeter in a size. They are a terrestrial algae, and after raining their appearance like a glisten. After raining their appearance like a glisten because of their body structure is a swell up and their appearance is like glisten, so it is known as fallen star. Non-stock common name is fallen star. Fallen star must remember because it is important for your short question. In India, 26 species found. You have remembered two species, Nostoc calcicola and Nostoc endophyllum. Okay, and their Nostoc thallus structure. Okay, first see this figure. Nostoc is a filamentous algae. their color is a bluish green, and they are the filamentous algae. And some cells, it is known as a trichomes, and some trichomes are attached to each other and make a filaments, but their filaments have a no branch, so it is known as a unbranched and filamentous algae. And it is some different type of cell. It is known as heterocyte cell, and heterocyte cell is a function as a nitrogen fixing, and it is also work in a reproduction. So it is a structure of a Nostoc. It is intercalary heterocytes, echinates, cyanophyceans, and the uh, some dots like structure. It is known as a mucilaginous sheath. Okay, this is the thallus structure of Nostoc. Non-stock are the filamentous and unbranched. Numerous filaments are found in a gelatinous mass as a colony. The colony may be as big as an egg. The filament consists of the chain of cells which appear like a bead, and they are called trichomes. It is a definition of trichome. Non-stock is the filament unbranched, and the filament consists of the chain of cell and which appear like a bead, and this bead-like structure is known as trichome. These all are trichomes, and trichomes are attached to each other. Okay, and then the cells are oval and spherical and cylindrical. Some of the cells in filaments are differentiated, and they are also called heterocytes. And their sites for a nitrogen fixation. Nitrogenous enzyme fixed nitrogen. Each filament is the covered in a mucilaginous sheath, and which is a protective layer. It absorbs and retain water, and the gelatinous sheath is made up of polysaccharide and also contain protein. Colonies are different shape, size, and color, and they mostly greenish and bluish green in color, and also have red brown yellow green in color. Okay, in these slides, uh, trichomes definition is importance and heterocytes. So what is trichome and what is heterocytes? Each cell is known as a trichome, and some cells are different to trichome. It is known as heterocytes, and heterocytes function is a nitrogen fixation. Extracellular pigments are also found, non-stoxine and cytonamine, and these pigments along with some amino acid and protect a cell from a UV radiation, and each cell has a thick wall and made up of the peptidoglycans, and the cytoplasm of the cell is differentiated into the outer color due to the peripheral arrangement, chromoplast, and inner clear cytoplasm. Cell have a various pigments. Cell contain chlorophyll, is a green color pigment. Phycocyanin is a blue color, and phycoerythrin is a red are also present, because this algae is the bluish green algae. So two type of the pigment is present. Chlorophyll pigment is a green color pigment, and phycocyanin pigment is a blue color pigment. But in phycoerythrin is also present. In inner cytoplasm contain incipient nucleus or the nuclear body and DNA without histone. The DNA is not well developed, so DNA is without histone, because this algae is a prokaryotic algae, so their nuclear is not well developed. Okay, this is the structure of non-stock. Okay, and their reproductions. In this non-stock reproduction take place by a vegetative and asexual method. Sexual method is a completely absent, because of they are the prokaryotics, they are some bacteria. So it is vegetative and asexual reproduction. Sexual production is a completely absent. The first is the vegetative reproductions. In first type, colony fragmentation. The colony may be the break into the small segments, small fragments due to the mechanical, physiological, or other factor. Each fragment has a capability to develop into the new colony. What means vegetative reproductions? One cell is the divide into the other cells, and their cell are divide many times, and their develop into the new body. It is known as vegetative reproductions. In colony fragmentation, the colony may be the break into the small fragments due to the mechanical and physiological or other factors, and each fragments have a capability to develop into the new colony. Okay, in this figure you can see this is the body structure of the Nostoc. In one fragments, they are cut to each other, and they are further developed into the new body plants, and it is known as a colony fragmentation. For example, this colony is divide. Some cells are divide, and there develop into the new body structure. It is known as colony fragmentation. And then second is the hormogonia. By hormone formations, it is a very common in a Nostoc. The vegetative part of trichome laying between the two adjacent heterocytes is called hormogonia. And the trichomes. Okay, first of all, what is hormogonia? This is the two heterocyte cell. This one heterocyte cell, and this is the two heterocyte cell. In two heterocyte cell, between this part is known as hormones, because they have a capability to produce a whole body plant, so it is known as hormones. And two heterocyte cells between this part is known as hormones. Hormones formation is the very common in a Nostoc. Vegetative part of the trichomes lying between the two adjacent heterocytes is called hormogonia. The trichomes break into the small segments due to the degeneration of intercalary vegetative cells because of the presence of intercalary heterocytes and multicellular fragments so formed hormogonia, and they come out the gelatinous sheath of the colony and grow rapid from the new colony. And very often the hormone fails to come out of the parent colony and divide inside the gelatinous sheath of the parent colony, and this result in a large number of trichome inside the parent colony. It is a one type of reproduction, hormogonia. What is hormogonia? In two heterocyte cells, some segments is known as hormogonia, and in these hormone filament capability to divide some colonies, capability to divide and make a colony, and their colony is a break, and some non-stock body part is living to free or independently. Okay, in vegetative reproduction, two types of colony fragmentations and then hormogonia. And then asexual reproductions. Asexual reproduction means their productions by the spore in a first echinates and anthoceros. Echinates or anthoceros. Echinates are a thick wall and enlarged reproductive cells. The cells store reserve food. It's a secret thick wall and become echinates. Echinates has outer wall exospore and inner wall is a endospore, and they are yellow and brown in a color. Echinates germinate immediately after raining. Okay, what means echinates? In some cells, this is the structure of Nostoc. In unfavorable conditions, the algae have a stress conditions or unfavorable conditions. Some cell are reserve food, and their cell wall make a thick, and there have a favorable conditions, they are germinate, because of their cell are converted into the spore. The cell are converted into the spore during the unfavorable conditions, and their and sometimes have a favorable condition, they are germinate into the new plant's body. It is known as a echinates, and their cells are converted into the spore, and they are also known as a arthenospore, and echinates also known as a resting spore. Because of some unfavorable conditions, they are not destroyed, but they are converted into the some thick shell wall, thick shell wall thick cell wall, and it is known as the spore. And some favorable conditions, they are further converted into the wall body plants, and it is known as the echinates. They are heterocytes in some species of Nostoc. For example, Nostoc cumins, heterocytes act as a resting spore. The two distinct layer, the layer is called outer wall and inner one. Inner one is called a inner wall. The two wall layer are separated by a transparent empty space. The wall leaves a pore at each end, and this pore is called polar pole. In young heterocyte, protoplasm of adjacent contact with a heterocytes through the polar pole. Okay, it is a one heterocyte cell. It is two polars. It is known as polar poles. The protoplasm of heterocytes to become a functional divide into the two and them into the four cells. And these four cells germinally come out of the rupture the heterocytes and their wall and grow into the new plants. For example, this is the one cell of the heterocytes. And they divide into the one cell into the two cell, and they are further divided into the four cell, and there and they grow into the new plant's body. It is known as heterocyte cells. In this figure you can see this is the okay in this figure you can see this is the one type of heterocyte cells. One heterocyte cells, they are divided into the two cell, they are divided into the four cell, and their filaments. And after making filament, the heterocyte cell is a break, and their filaments is a develop into the new plant body structure, and it is known as heterocytes. Okay, and their endosperm. In some species of Nostoc, the protoplasm of heterocytes divide successively to form a endosperm. Unlike echinates, the endospore are the thin wall, hence cannot regard as a resting spore. Endospore and disintegrations of the wall result in the liberations, and the round spore later germinate to form a new trichomes. Endospore. Some cells are divided, but they are different. Unlike echinates, because echinates have a thick wall, and endospore has a thin wall. So it is unlike. They are different to the echinates, but echinates are different to endospore. But endospore is also known as a they cannot regard as a resting spore because they have a thin wall. And endospore, to see in this figure, endospore in some cells are divide and make a colony, and their colony is the break, and they grow in a new body plants. They are the endosperm. In some species, Nostoc, protoplasm of the heterocyte divide successively into the endosperm. Unlike echinates, the endospore are a thin wall, hence cannot regard as a resting spore. Disintegrations. The word result in their liberation, and rounded spore later germinate to form a new trichomes. They are the endospore. In asexual reproduction, three types of echinates or endospores, heterocytes, and third is a endospore. Echinates is the thick wall cell. It is known as echinates, also known as a resting spore and also known as a anthospore. Heterocyte means some different type of cell. They are divides and make some filaments, and their filaments are convert into the new plant's body. And their endospore, some cells are divided into the colony, and their colony are break and they germinate the cell into the new trichomes. It is known as endospore. Okay, it is the figure of hormogonia. They are the echinates, they are the hormogon. Okay, they are the heterocytes and they are endospore. Okay, thank you. Must watch this video and like and share.